Recap, Family Reunion 2021. The excitement as the family of the Alliance came together. First agency manager dinner, what happens? A whole new, improved promotion schedule. Megan Wood gets up here and gets a new all-expense-paid trip because she's issue paid over $500 million in less than half of a year, and then she talks about how she did it. Then what do? We roll in the CEO of Integrity Marketing, Brian Adams. What's next? Unbelievable. Brian Tracy shows up. So people are bouncing off the walls. We think it can't get better. But Vanilla Ice, Rob Van Winkle, shows up. So he agrees to an interview. He comes back out with his whole music entourage. People knew the songs, they were breakdancing, and this is the first night. This is the first night, and people are losing it. What happens the next day? How do you top it? I got an idea. Let's give away $100,000 on stage to the people that brought the most organizations to the meeting. If you missed it and you want to be at the next one, I highly recommend you sign up quickly. We're going to invest heavy. We're going to go big. Family Reunion was incredible. Family, the friends, the association, the food, the education, and the entertainment. What kind of a package is that? National convention. Off the charts, baby. I will guarantee you. Come see it. See you then. World, watch. You're gonna see something you ain't never seen before. Is about ready to see what the Alliance can do, baby.
Tia Land. Oh, that changed. My name is Tia Land. I am the marketing director here at the Alliance, here for some TWC pre-flight instructions. Is this your first TWC Live? Yes? Okay. You might get really excited, and when you get excited, you might try to stand on your chair, but we're an integrity company now. They frown against that. Don't stand on your chair. Keith Howell's going to come down. He's going to yell at you, say, no. But you are allowed to get excited, okay? Danny Johnson, if I say something really, really good, what are you going to say? That's right. What are you going to say? That's right. You can say, back the truck up. What's something else? Y'all, come on, give me something.
Family Reunion 2021. The excitement.
Capital in the United States of America. You're going to see orcas, you're going to see humpback whales, you're going to see them sea dogs, you're going to see the sea sails, you're going to see everything up in Juneau, because Juneau. Have you ever been dog sledding? You get on the back of the sled. Or you're down like this right here. You like this right here. There's a country song that says, if I never get to see the Northern Lights, I bet you go on this cruise, you're going to get to see the Northern Lights.
And give a warm welcome to your TWC hosts today, Adam and Beth Katz and Terry and Tia Edwards.
It's on? It's game time, baby. Game time.
Hello, Alliance Nation.
What's up, y'all?
Fired up to be here. We are coming to you live from Medicare training at headquarters, Burlington, North Carolina.
That's right.
I am Adam Katz. This is my beautiful bride, Beth. And you are?
Terry Edwards and my lovely bride, Tia.
That's right. So we are fired up to be able to host the TWC live from the Medicare seminar, and we're going to kick things off like we always kick things off, talking about the people who are doing the do.
That's right.
Everybody's like, man, you guys do too much. You guys call out too many names. The people on the list never seem to complain. So what we encourage is that you get your name on the list, and then it's recognition. It's not just reading out names. So right. Terry Edwards is going to talk about this week's activity numbers.
Activity numbers. These are the people who are going out doing the do week in and week out. But this week, let's see, top 3 life producers. Number 1 this week is my boy, Mark Hutchison. I hear you, Hutch. Out in South Carolina, $29,920. Number 2, Miss Megan, good for you, Megan Wood. Y'all, Megan is submitting premium and getting a pool dug in her backyard all at the same time. $22,316 with 30 apps. And then third is Amaka Arizu. Did I pronounce that right?
You got it.
All right. On the Adam and Beth Katz team, $17,400 with 2 applications. Y'all give it up for the top 3 life producers. Now, it's one thing to write it. Sometimes you got to call these carriers and bug them, say, hey, push the approve button. Push it. All right, so these are the people that's done got it issued paid. This week, number 1, Lenoris Washington, part of Stephen and Holly Davis Group, $19,005 submitted. Check that issue paid this week. 6 applications. Kyle and Janina, woohoo! Number 2, $18,457 with 24 apps. Mark Hutchison, he's not only getting it submitted, but he's getting it issued. $15,116 with 10 applications. Number 4, Marvin and Jalissa Otsoy, $11,459. Number 5, my girl Katrina Gustin down in Orlando. I see you, Katrina. $10,000 and $10,081. Number 6, Megan Wood, $9,771 with 25 apps. Number 7, Miss Jera Gonzalez, all the way in New Mexico. Sometimes she's writing business in Hawaii. Y'all know Jera Gonzalez. Clap it up for Jera Gonzalez. $8,957. Number 8, Stephanie Rodriguez. Hey, Steffi. Hey, girl. $8,675. Number 9, Olga and Jason Mathis, $8,045. Hey, today is a special day. Today is Olga Mathis's birthday, y'all. So y'all give, hey, let's sing happy birthday to Olga right quick. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Olga. Happy birthday to you. Woohoo! Number 10, Jonathan and Megan Yakey, $7,920. Number 11, Dr. Martha Botoyski, $7,653. And number 12, Elena Imadobe, $6,617. Annuities, top 5 annuity producers. Number 1, my cooking buddy, my smoking buddy. And we talking about smoking meat, not any of the other stuff. We smoke meat. Number 1, Joe and Tony Walker, $165,000 annuity. Number 2, Tim Tempton, $128,000 annuity. Number 3, Kyle and Janina, $113,000 annuity. And Jason and Tony Carey with $100,000, and Douglas Becker with $100,000 annuity. Top 3 Forsters issue paid, Jonathan and Megan Yakey, Kyle and Janina, and Dr. Martha Botoyski. We love some CVS. Why do we love CVS? They don't ask height and weight. So, you know, sometimes you run into people, they just as wide as they is tall. Just not tall enough for their weight. CVS will take them. They don't want just the unhealthy people, though. All right, so who we got? Tim Sight, $4,000 issue paid with CVS. Kyle and Janina. Kyle and Janina is in every category. $3,500. And then number 3, Ava Russo with $2,800. Woo! These are the people right here that's going out, expanding the influence of the alliance, getting more people to sell more insurance. Top 10 recruiters for the week. Number 1, my buddy Brandon and Ashley Bill out on the West Coast. 7 recruits this week. Good gracious. He got a logo like Brandon Bill. He busting out his shirt. He got some big biceps and stuff too. I like that. Jeremy and Amy Patton, number 2 with 5. Andy Riddle with 5. Riddle, you number 3, Bo. Riddle and put a ring on it too. Number 4, Kate and Mike Marisi with 3. Jake and Belle Krause with 3. Chris and Courtney Long with 3. Number 7, Jan Miller with 2. Number 8 is Angel Navarro with 2. Alex Abian 2. And Awa Patton 2. So those are the activity leaderboards right there that I'm going to go over.
Okay. I'm gonna hit a couple other things. Alaska. Who wants to go to Alaska? We're going to go on a cruise. Not sure if you're all aware of this. All expense paid.
I like that.
You know, if it's free, it's for me. And I'm just telling you guys, steaks taste steakier when somebody else is paying for it.
I know that's right.
Andy Albright has generously upgraded every qualifier. To the all-inclusive drink package.
I like that.
So you can get all the Coca-Cola or other drinks that you might desire on the cruise, and you don't have to worry about your bill at the end of the week because it's all covered. This is a trip, I promise you, this was one of the first trips that Beth and I went on. It was back in 2004. That's how old Beth and I are, insurance-wise. You could cut us open, count the rings. And I tell you, we have been all around the world. with the Alliance. We have seen things, unbelievable events and experiences and everything else. But that Alaskan cruise was just magic for us. And it is still one of our favorite, if not the favorite trip we've ever been on. And so we are excited about being able to go back. So we got some new folks who have qualified for the Alaskan cruise. Wanted to give them a shout out. Now, these folks are qualified, all expense paid, you and a guest. It ain't you coming by yourself. You don't have to leave your spouse at home. You get to bring someone with you. So congratulations, Darwin Grant, part of Marcus and Carla Richardson's team. New qualifier, Chris and Courtney Long. Woohoo! New qualifier, Superman, Brandon and Ashley Beal. New qualifiers, Marisol Diaz Ramirez, part of the Otsoy organization. Woohoo! Jose Compton, part of Patrick Connor's team, qualified for Alaska. And Tim and Nikki Long, down in Georgia, part of Jake and Bell Krause's team, qualified for Alaska. So congratulations to those folks for qualifying. And there are a bunch of people just next up on the list. I thought I'd read this out too. This is pretty cool. This is issue paid production for September through the 13th. So we ain't even halfway done. We haven't even hit the 50% mark. And so I was going to read off everybody over 20,000. So all these folks are tracking over $40,000 issue paid for the month of September. So I just want to give these folks a quick shout out. Congratulations, $21,892. Megan Wood. The only shock is that she is 7th. That'll change, guarantee you.
She is getting a pool bill.
Guarantee you. Number 6 with $23,452. Jason and Tawny Carey out of Vegas, baby. Number 5, month to date, $26,254. Lenoris Washington. Number 4, they're part of Davies' team. Number 4, $26,592 issue paid production. This is cash in the bank issue paid. This ain't if come, like if the carriers decide to issue. This is income. It's already in the bank. Joe and Tawny Walker. Number 3 with $27,000. That's tracking over $54,000 issue paid. $27,240. Mark Hutchinson, part of Davies' team. Number 2 with $35,098 issue paid through the 13th. Kyle and Janina Wilson. Woo-hoo. And number 1 with $40,056 issue paid production. Part of the Carey organization, Shannon Barnhart. So congratulations to the folks kicking butt, taking names in September. And we still got 17 more days of issue paid to look at for that. So, so those are the leaderboards we were going to look at. Is there a way to just turn that off or pull that down?
Yeah, we can figure this out.
Terry knows how to do that. So what we're going to do is this. We just, let's. I remember which waters. So when Andy asked us to do the TWC today from the Medicare seminar, we were, the 4 of us got together and started chatting, and we were just like, what is it we could tell everybody? And how do we want to tell it? And you guys are looking at us like, wait a minute, that's Terry Edwards and Adam Katz. What the heck they doing sitting down?
Well,
we got a message to send. And we just wanted to have a chat with the 4 of us and just talk about what is it that Peter Lencioni wrote a book called The Advantage. It's one of Andy's favorite books, and we talk about the unfair advantages of the Alliance. And I think one of the biggest unfair advantages that we have, now it's fair for us because we take advantage of it. It's not fair for the rest of the industry because they don't have it. That's right. But we like to call it the light of day. Mm-hmm. Can you walk into the light of day? And day is duplication, association, and edification. And so we just wanted to talk to you guys today about what it means to walk in the light of day and kind of break down what each of those letters stand for, the D-A-E. We'll change the spelling of a word in a heartbeat here at the Alliance. and just kind of talk to you about it. And we just wanted to kind of do just a chat with each other and talk about what it's meant in our lives, what it's meant in our children's lives, how it's impacting the legacy. Andy, the beauty of what the Alliance has done and what Andy Albright has created, Andy and Jane have created with this culture, is hitting the next generations. We're blessed. Our 20-year-old daughter, Emily, is working hard. In fact, she relocated to Florida just so that she could do this and be closer to the Albrights. And because she grew up in this culture, I like to say she grew up Albright. And her thought process, her mindset, her vision has been changed because of the association with this group of people. And so we just wanted to talk about how you and your family can maximize the advantages of the Alliance. So Terry, talk to...
Well, I was just going to say, here's what I want you to think as you're listening. Like, this could be and is the kind of conversations we have on these trips. That when we're just sitting together and we've got our water or coffee or other drinky, and we're just... we're just talking. And this is what you're going to see is a conversation that will happen in Alaska. And we just want you to be a part of it. And so getting to kind of eavesdrop on our conversation is a way for you to envision yourself on that cruise ship doing the same thing.
Yeah, and speaking of the trip to Alaska, with the new agent levels map, like you could be getting started right today and qualify for Alaska. It's 125,000 points, right? But if you get all of the bonus points, which is very simple to do, you could get 60,000 bonus points. You only need 65,000 written to go with that, right? So 65, we got October, November, and December. That's about $20,000 a month in volume. You can do that. Anybody can pay $20,000. So if you're watching this and you're wondering, is it too late for me to qualify for the trip? Absolutely not. Now, these trips are fun, y'all. Y'all know we like to have fun, right?
That's right.
We having fun in a Medicare seminar. It's hard to make Medicare fun. Woo! But you get us on a dadgum cruise with all these A personalities, free drinks. You just never know what's going to pop off. I remember one time we was on a trip and Tia was a little nervous. We was in Hawaii, and we were going to go snorkeling. And Tia was scared of the water, y'all. She was like, I want to do it, but I'm scared. I'm a sink. I'm like, well, I got life insurance on you, so. Me and the kids will remember you. But anyway, it's like those memories. Anyway, I turned around, and the dude had, y'all know how you put a life vest on, right? They done put 2 life vests on Tia. One on top, and then she stepped into another one. So she had another life vest on around her waist like a little pamper. Boy, she was floating out there in that water, boy. She got out there, though.
Yeah, so this is where the memories are created. We're going to get into today, but this is where memories are created. That Hawaii trip, they were really trying their best to get me to swim. So even before we went snorkeling, y'all, it started out with Gina Hawks, Beth Katz, Jane Albright, and this lady named Angie, y'all. And they was like, Tia, we're going to just teach you the little simple stuff. Just how to float. Just how to float. So they had me on my back. Y'all, it still didn't go too well. I'm like, do not let me go. I feel safe as long as I got Gina Hawks by my side. But yeah, all of the trips you really definitely want to get on, whether you're old or whether you're brand spanking new. You do not want to miss these trips, because when we start talking about association, I'm going too fast, see? When we start talking about association, that's where it starts at for me.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about duplication. We're going to back the truck up and talk about duplication. Jeff Welch said this right here. Duplication is when you can lead a large group of people to do a few simple actions over a sustained period of time. So if you can lead a group of people doing simple stuff, that's the thing I love about the Alliance is this right here. You can come into this company and be a hot mess like I was. If y'all don't know this, before I got started with the Alliance, I was working in banking in the credit union world, And we was always side hustling at night trying to get free. Well, I got what I thought was my dream job. I was named CEO of a credit union, and Tia was 7 months pregnant, and we had 3 small kids. The job was not in North Carolina. The job was down in Atlanta. So I said, yeah, we're going to go. And Tia said, okay, I'll go with you. I was like, good. So we packed up the house, put our house on the market. We drove down there, followed the 18-wheeler. We got down there, and 2 weeks after I was supposed to start, they rescinded the job offer. So here I am, a whole grown man, all right, with no job. I had sold our janitorial business. We was doing network marketing, but that wasn't generating a full-time income. I think we was making maybe about $1,500 a month. And I responded to a Craigslist ad that Jason and Olga Mathis posted. Now, warm market recruiting is a way to go, people that you already know. You're not going to find too many Terrys on Craigslist because I've been looking. I ain't found one yet. But what I'm saying is you can find a needle in a haystack, but really you talk to people that you already know. That's going to be faster. Anyhow, so we responded. The first 30 days, I made $8,000. How did I do that? Jason and Olga made it so simple to get started.
Right.
What I mean by that, first of all, Olga had set an amazing example. At that point, Olga was making about $9,000 a month. And I was just like, okay, well, I need to listen to her because she know how to sell. Like Jason recruited me, but I was just like, I'm gonna listen to Olga. All right. So as speaking of Olga, today is her birthday. And I would like to pause too, because without Olga Mathis' support, the dream team would not be able to function.
Yes.
Woo!
Y'all give it up.
Yes.
Because between Olga and Gina, we wear them phones out in the house. You hear me? I can't answer all these phone calls by myself. But Olga, thank you so much. First of all, happy birthday.
That's right.
But also thank you for winning and showing me that you can win at the beginning. So they made it very simple. They was like, okay, this is the phone script. This is how you go in. When you go into a house, you just call. So it was like, if we can duplicate and keep things simple, we can get more people moving faster, right? In the world that we live in now, everybody wants to be unique, and everybody wants to have an opinion, and everybody wants you to know what their opinion is, and they're going to blast it on social media. That stuff don't do anything to unify people, right? So it was just like, okay, Olga said, when you get in the house, you call me. That's what I did. Jason said, you need to drive to North Carolina and meet Andy Albright. That's what I did. So duplication is not about being unique. It's about being simple enough and humble enough to keep it simple so that a caveman can do this thing.
All right.
So duplication to me was just like, it gives us permission to go fast, but also it takes the pressure off of you as the individual. Because I was like, okay, well, if these jokers already got it figured out, only thing I got to do is execute. I didn't have to question if it worked. Because I met Chris Long my first week. I was like, this dude is smart right here. I like him. Came to a convention, saw all these people, saw Adam and Beth winning. I was like, it ain't a question of if it works. It's just a matter of, am I going to do what I need to do to make it work? So duplication is like, if we could just keep it so simple. And that's the other thing I loved about Andy. The first time I met him, I was sitting in the TWC in the studio back here, and he walked in the room with this fire red blazer on. I mean, it was red. I mean, like the blood of Jesus red. And he had this Rolex watch on. That thing was glistening. And he just started talking. And when you start listening to him, he's just country. And he don't say nothing that's like, he ain't using all these big words. I was just sitting there. I sit back and I looked at him. I said, you got to be freaking kidding me. Here it is. I done spent 16 years building my career in banking, trying to be somebody that I wasn't, to appease them, and they snatched my career from me. And here it is. I'm sitting here listening to Andy Albright talk, just like I'm listening to my uncle up on the shade tree talk. I understand every word coming out his mouth. And I was like, and these people, he's making multiple millions, multiple houses, jets, planes, all that stuff. I was just like, you mean to tell me that you can be this simple and this clear and make that much money? I was just like, I'm going to be like him when I grow up. Put me in, coach. So it's just like keeping it simple. And then that way, too, more people can do it faster. So duplication took all the pressure off of me because I didn't have to think about anything. Only thing I had to do was execute the 8 steps to success. I'm still working on the Millionaire Maker Manual. But duplication, it just works, and it took all the pressure off of me.
Yeah, and we're like doing more duplication in the office too. Like every Monday and Thursday, agents actually comes in the office, and it's not just in Winston-Salem, it's everywhere, where agents are going into the office, sitting around one another, listening, tweaking what they're hearing, what they may be messing up because they may not be booking appointments, but they are hearing their neighbor next to them, and they're tweaking what they're saying, and they're able to book appointments. Like we had that going on this weekend. It was amazing right there in our office. And what I also look at, like everybody in here, I consider all of us leaders. You know, we're all leaders. And sometimes I feel like in order to duplicate, to get that momentum going in our business, sometimes when we have that right person in our group, we got to sometimes slow down with that person. When we know that's the right person, we got to slow down a little bit just to speed up. So I want to get some involvement from the audience just a little bit, if that's all right. So we have a new agent on our group, and she used to be a coach at Winston-Salem State. She used to coach at other high schools. So I want her to come up. She was a cheer coach. I'm sorry. Alana, can you come up real quick? So I want Alana to come up, and I need one other person, just one.
One volunteer.
One volunteer. Anybody.
All right, come on, man. There we go. Come on, hurry up.
We're gonna make this quick. Yeah, we're gonna make this quick.
On the hop.
So you know, when we're coaching and we're leading our team, right? So we have to, like I said, we got to slow down to speed up. Alana, come over here. We got to slow down to speed up. So Alana, I want you real quick, okay? So Jacob, right? Jacob, this is Alana. She's going to show you a cheer real quick, right? And I want you to copy what she do real quick. All right. Help, serve. That's what we do. All right, Jacob, let's go.
Help, serve. That's what we do.
All right!
Hey! Jacob used to be a cheerleader, y'all. He'll get up on a megaphone.
Maybe we need Jacob to sit down, because Jacob, I wasn't planning for that to take place that fast. But the point is, sometimes even if they would have had to go on the other side, y'all, sometimes we as leaders, everybody here are leaders, right? Sometimes we have to step aside from the big group that we have over here that's moving fast. Sometimes we have to slow down and work with them just a little bit more, just to get them to move a little bit faster. And what's going to happen is, because they see us working with Jacob, you're going to want to come around a little bit more so that you can start duplicating and helping your group with you as well, helping your group as well.
That's
y'all
right.
Went too fast.
Woo, y'all did good. You're a good coach, and you're a good cheerleader. You gonna turn a flip?
Because I had a good teacher.
That's right. That's right. So, and the last thing, speaking about office right quick, too, that was the other thing. When I came to the office here, the environment that Andy had created was supercharged. I was not used to coming around this many hard-charging people flying drones. It was like people had Nerf guns. It was like sensory overload. Right. And I come over here, and about 12:30, I tapped out. You know, working in the credit unions, you know, I sat behind a desk, took a 3-hour lunch, you know, stuff like that. They can't fire me now. Yeah, that's what I used to do. And then but I had never been around this many hard-charging people. So about 12:30, I had to go to the house and take a nap. But the thing about it was, Andy had created an environment where you could be successful. So that's what we're trying to duplicate. I know Adam and Beth in their offices all across the country, we are charged with creating an atmosphere where people can come in and be successful. And the cool part about the dial sessions is this right here. Dialing the phone can be difficult. But if you're doing it with a group of people, and if you fail, so what? You're seeing other people fail, but on the flip side, you're seeing other people succeed. Because that's what Lady V and Joyce McCarter was talking about. First of all, they started praying together. Right. I was like, whoa, they done took it to a whole nother level and got the Lord involved. You know, you had to bring big guy in the picture. But they brought the Lord up in the picture. And then they started dialing. And then they got hung up on, they laughed about it. They danced when they booked their first appointment. We got bells, they ring bells and stuff like that. But the cool part about it is, when you're doing it this business can be very, very boring if you try to do it by yourself. And especially if you're trying to do it at home by yourself. That's when the devil, the enemy, the adversary can wear you out. Self-talk can get you the most when you're by yourself. But when you come around other winners and the devil show up, the devil about to get an ass whooping. Y'all hear what I'm talking about? I got to work on my mouth, but that's what I really feel.
It's in the Bible. You're good.
Okay, all right. But y'all tracking what I'm putting down. Like if somebody tried to come up in here right now and talk about this don't work, I'm going to have witnesses popping up all across the... Man, you crazy. I just got $30,000 deposited in my bank account last month. Man, then what's your boy that's getting them big annuity getting ready to issue? Kurt going to stand up and be like, I don't know what you're talking about, bro. I just made $14,000. I'm making $14,000 on Friday, and my wife done promised me what she going to give me. So you know what I'm saying? When you get around the success and you get around other people, you're going to do more. You're going to do more.
Yeah, so it's like brand new people. One of the biggest things that you're trying to get them to buy into it, you got to build their belief. You know, they've been beat down by life. They've been beat down by their brother-in-law. They've been beat down by their mama. They've been beat down by their wife, by their kids, and their boss at work, and all they hear is settle for, settle for, settle for. And so one of the first things we're trying to do is get them to start believing that they are built for more, they're created for more, and they can achieve more. And it's that duplication. It takes the pressure off because I love what Andy says. He says, duplicate, don't innovate. The pressure's not on you to create new systems. The system's here. The system works. It's a known quantity. Now, will you work the system? That's the variable. Okay? But the leads aren't the variable. The carriers aren't the variable. The training's not the variable. Because otherwise we wouldn't have as much success. You look at the leaderboards. You look at, every week, Andy parades new people on the TWC and the activity calls that he's talking to. And it's just, they're from all walks of life. There's no commonality to them except success with the alliance. And so when you take away the variable of does the alliance work, does the system work, do the leads work, do the carriers work, or do we have a good product? When you take all of that off the table, then it's just all you have to do is focus on you, and now all you got to do is figure out how do I duplicate it better. Okay? How is she clapping her hands? How can I clap just like she clapped? How do I get in rhythm with them? A couple things about duplication. I love John Wooden. He says if you never leave the basics, you never have to go back to them. Okay. He was a basketball coach for UCLA, won more national championships than any other coach in the history, won like 10 of them in 12 years. But here's what he would do every year at that first practice. Now, these are some of the best college basketball players in the world. Guys like, Bill Walton, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, all these guys played for his first practice. What he would do is this. He'd show them how to put their tube socks on. He'd show them how to put them on. Those are nice, aren't they? Why? Why would he get down to that level of basic? Because he understood if you fail in the small things, you're going to fail in the big things.
That's good.
And so what he knew was this. If they didn't put their socks on right, then the shoes, the tennis sneakers would rub. And it'd create blisters. And when you had blisters, you wouldn't be able to practice as hard. And if you didn't practice as hard, you wouldn't play as hard. And so he wanted to eliminate every variable he could. So he started with how to unroll the sock, get it real tight on the toes, and pull it up. And put the socks on properly so you don't have that gap and you don't get that rubbing and you don't get those blisters. Vince Lombardi, football coach for the Packers, won the first 2 Super Bowls. He'd start off the first practice. He'd hold up the football and he'd say, "Gentlemen," now these are Super Bowl champions. He'd say, "Gentlemen, this is a football." Imagine this is a football. This is a football. Obviously, these guys knew what a football looked like. They were professional football players. Why would he do that? Because he wanted them to understand the simplicity of what they do, and don't overcomplicate it. Keep your eye on the ball and don't overcomplicate it. The Green Bay Packers ran like 6 plays, and they just ran them better than everybody else. They said, this is what we're running. I dare you to stop us. And nobody could, because they were so trained and drilled on the basics and the fundamentals. And that's what Andy has done for us. He's created this system. I don't know if you guys checked out ARC lately and the new, the updated Getting Started Quickly, but we got a master, Terry Edwards, doing now. You know, we now have Terry's video on how to make the phone calls. And I mean, so they have upgraded all the videos on how to get started quickly. And all you got to do, look, I'm not saying, yeah, coach your people, but let's not overcomplicate it. Get on Alliance University. Andy has given us all the tools. The unfair advantage we have is that infrastructure that Andy has created for us with ARC, with Alliance University, with Gina Hawks, with Ivy Wilson, with Chris Norris and BAM, with President's Club and Clay Murtis. You know, it's just crazy how much resources we have our hands on. All we got to do is leverage them. You know, as great as the environment is in Terry and Tia's office, if agents don't come in and leverage that environment, it might as well not exist. You know, part of duplication is showing up. And, you know, part of nothing good happens in isolation. And think about your kids, think about how you grew up, think about how you live your life. When you start to isolate, you ain't pumping yourself up. You're not thinking rainbows and unicorns anymore. You just start spiraling down into a place your mind doesn't need to get to. You need to get around the heat. You need to get around the team so that you can leverage the positivity, so that you can duplicate the positivity. Because if you see positive, then you're more likely to be positive. And that's one of the keys that we've always seen. So stay with the fundamentals, stay with the basics, and just duplicate them, and don't get so far off track. You know, just keep it simple. Andy just says, keep it low.
That's right.
You know, you don't need to be 30,000 feet in the air. Keep it low. Don't try and impress people with your genius and expertise.
Because they ain't impressed.
They ain't.
They ain't impressed.
And they don't believe they can do it now.
Right.
Now you've lost them, and now they start doubting whether they, it's like, I may not be as talented as Terry Edwards, but here's what I know. If Terry closes 8 out of 10, and I close 4 out of 10, I can still beat Terry. I just got to outwork him.
That's it.
Because I know my numbers, he knows his numbers, and if we just doing everything, if it's duplicable, if it's going to be the same every time, then I can work on me and build my skill set by duplicating the activities that he's doing. And I may not have the skill set Terry Edwards has, but if I do the activity Terry Edwards does while my skill set is growing, then I can still pass Terry just by putting in more activity. Activity trumps talent all day long.
I know that's right. Look, we was at a track meet one time. One of my boys was running track, so we went on to UNC Charlotte to a track meet. When you go to a track meet, it's an all-day thing. It tears my patience up. But anyway, so I had my little refrigerator, my cooler, and my tent set up and everything. And this team came up. Now, and they looked different than every other track team that was there. And they pulled off their warm-ups. And on the back of their warm-up, they didn't look like they was going to do nothing that day. I did not have high expectations for them. They pulled off their warm-up, and on the back of their warm-up, it said, hard work beats talent, especially when talent don't work hard. I was like, good God Almighty, boy, that thing hit me like a ton of bricks, because this is the thing. If you don't work hard, your talent is only going to get you so far. And this is the other thing. There's a difference between duplication and imitation. Imitation means there's a lot of people that are imitating, thinking they're duplicating. What I mean by that, a lot of people try to wear the same, like the Robert Graham shirts and things like that look like Andy, but they're not duplicating Andy. See, when you imitate, you look like it, but you ain't got the fruit. But when you duplicate, it's not just about looking like somebody, but it's about duplicating and copying their spirit in which they operate. That's what separates the wheat from the tare, is the spirit in which you operate. Because if you don't operate with a spirit of genuine care, of genuine concern, people are not going to be drawn to you. They're not going to stay with you. That's how Paul Roberts is so magnetic. When you talk to Paul, you don't have to wonder if the man cares about what he's doing, how hard he's working, and things of that nature. So if you imitate like crab meat, anybody ever had imitation crab meat? I don't even like the way it look. I be like, they shouldn't even make it. I don't want that mess. But you get that good Phillips jumbo lump crab meat, that'll make a good crab salad right there. That imitation stuff, that stuff lump up on you, that ain't good for you. So duplication versus imitation is very, very important.
And kind of along that line, sometimes people get caught up in that, well, if I'm duplicating, then I'm like everybody else. And the reality is that we get to bring our own individuality, who we are, you know, whether you're the wild, crazy pacers like these two, or whether you're a little more subdued, it's the heart of who you are. And coming in and then copying the activity of the system, copying the do of the system with your personality. Like we aren't trying to create cookie cutters. We're not, this is not a cookie cutter business. It's a cookie cutter process. But you get to be you. And the idea is that the you gets to be better. Like your you tomorrow is better than your you today. We all want to go forward. That's one of the things in terms of duplication. I think back to years ago, conversations with Jane Albright. And we'd be talking, and I'd be complaining about something, or I just need to, I need a pat on the back, or a boost, or let me catch a little bit of your belief so I can hang on a little bit longer. One of those moments, and inevitably she would say something in the conversation like, "Well, Adam's just like Andy. Adam's just like Andy." Well, the reason we were having that conversation was because in that moment, Adam wasn't just like Andy. But she was helping me develop a mindset so that he could become. I could start treating him as the successful business leader. And it helped us develop that thought process. And at the same time, she'd go, "Well, you're like me." And she'd go on. She was teaching me in that moment who I could become so that we could be successful. And that's the duplication. It's not robbing me of being me or Adam being Adam. You look at when Adam and Andy met, you look at all the different ways that they were different from each other. And yet they could still be best friends. They could still go forward and change the world. They can be different people can be successful here. That's the common ground. That I don't care what your background is. You can probably find someone else that's kind of close to you and figure out that we're just a copy of system.
So it's like, so why do I want to duplicate? Well, if you understand the word system, save yourself time, energy, and money.
That's right.
That's what system is. It's a way to save yourself time, energy, and money. You don't have to recreate the wheel. Here's the thing. Some people, if you could put the ego in the back pocket,
easy.
You could have the world. If you don't care who gets the credit, you'd be surprised how much you could get done, how much we could get done. And that's something that I struggled with, because we all got egos and we all want credit. But what I've learned through the years is that the faster I put the ego in my back pocket and allow the system to take care of things, the more freeing it is. See, because understand this. You don't want to be the magic in your group. Because if you're the magic in your group, you can't go away. You don't got lifestyle. You don't have freedom. Because if you take the magic out, then everything dies. But if you ain't the magic, everything keeps moving forward. So you want to share leadership. You want to turn leadership over. You want to turn it into, you want to have that system that you have people just following and duplicating to the best of their ability. And that way you work yourself out of having a job to actually having a business. Because the key to creating overrides is not personal production. Personal production is a great way to get upfront cash.
That's right.
But take that cash, invest it into your machine, your system, the alliance system, not the one you created, but the one Andy Albright created that we know works. Why would you want to spend time, money, and energy into something that is you don't know if it's going to work or not? When Andy has a 20-year track record of saying do it this way, it works. So you take that income you make from your personal production, so you've shown yourself to be the example, so you have credibility talking to people. You can relate to the way they make phone calls, to the way they run the appointments, because you've done the personal production, you got the cash flow, and now you go out and you build that organization that is duplicating the system that Andy Albright put together, that Terry Edwards put together, that he follows. And then what you do is this. All of a sudden, you have people working for themselves, building a business team, duplicating you, which creates mass, which creates exponential growth. See, understand this. I don't care if you're working 100 hours a week. Your business is open 100 hours.
That's right.
But if I got a team of 50 people who are working 20 hours a week each, my business is open 1,000 hours.
That's right.
You can't keep up that 100 hours. I can keep up my 1,000. Right. And if you get the Rona, and you gotta slow down for a week or two, then your 100 hours goes to zero. But because I have a system, I have duplicated leaders, I have duplicated people who are working the system the way it's designed. If one of my guys gets Rona, we go from 1,000 hours to 980 hours.
Right.
The kid's still going to be okay.
That's right.
And now you have lifestyle. Now you have freedom. Now you have created that river of money that Andy talks about.
Come on, talk about that river.
Versus a pond of money that every time you go to it, it gets lower. A river, you can go to the river. Take me down to the river. We can go down to the river and we can just pull out a bucket of money, buy what we wanted to buy, take the trip to where we wanted to take it to, and we got more money coming in because we have that river, because we have duplication going in our organization versus the pond of all the money I saved from my personal sales. I'm not saying don't do personal sales. You gotta kill it in personal sales. But the purpose of it is to be able to build that duplicable system and have that nationwide.
That brings on a point that success without duplication is just merely future failure in disguise. Success without duplication is merely just future failure in disguise. Like, do not be deceived. We're going to make some money on personal production, right? But to have a business, you have to have leverage and have that passive income coming in. So, yeah, like Adam said, I'm going to kill personal production. Like, I don't never want to stop selling. I ain't never seen nothing where I can create cash out of thin air like insurance. I just ain't never seen it. I've seen times, Adam, it might be pitiful, but I'm going to tell it. I remember one time we was first getting started. And I was driving over to Burlington to a TWC. I always paid my lead bill. No chargeback has ever got past me to my upline. But I had about $12 in my checking account on a Wednesday. I was driving from Kernersville to Burlington, rethinking my whole life. I'm tears running down my face. I was like the children of Israel. I was like, at least when I was working a job, I knew next Friday I was going to have $2,000 in my bank account. I couldn't be like that around here. I got to be money. But, I was driving to Burlington. I was crying up something, snotting, running out my nose and everything. But by that Friday, I had over $4,000 in my bank account. I've never seen a system, a business that you can go out and personally just create cash out of thin air. We sell paper and a promise to pay. And it ain't even our promise. It's Mutual of Omaha promise. Yeah, like, good gracious. I get fired up. I'm ready to go out and sell right now. But if you don't have a business, if you don't recruit and build, you don't have a business. You own a job. I didn't want another job. I want to get free. Is there anybody want to get free? Yeah. Martin Luther King said this right here. Martin Luther King said him and his boys, they did a good job segregating the lunch counter, but they never segregated the dollar bill. And to live in the world of free enterprise and not understand it is the modern definition of slavery. Slavery today ain't got nothing to do with cotton fields and black folks on plantations no more. They ain't got nothing to do with that. Why are we living in America, the land of free enterprise, the land of capitalism, and we ain't got money to provide for our families? How do we settle for that when all we got to do, we got an insurance license, $200 insurance license. I make more money with a $200 insurance license than with an MBA. When I got my MBA, they gave me a $1,500 a year raise at work. Not per month, per year, $1,500. That's $62.50 every 2 weeks before taxes. But you understand that that's what people are living through right now. Our neighbors, our cousins and them, people in our church congregations, that's the life that they're living. They're looking for a way out. And we come to set the captive free. So the only way that we're going to get free is by building a massive agency. How do we build a massive agency? Follow other people that done did it. Humble ourselves. Duplication is also about asking questions. Sometimes you got to ask a question. I remember we was in Banff, Canada. Speaking of a trip, we was in Banff, Canada, and Andy took us up to his suite. So we went down the hallway, went up the public elevator, got off of that elevator, and went to a private elevator. I got nervous. I seen movies about stuff like this right here. Like, see, I ain't got my pistol with me. I like Andy, but I don't really know him all that good. So anyway, we got on the private elevator, and then the elevator opened up, and we walk into their room. There's a butler in there. There's fresh fruit. It looked like Coming to America in there. Fresh fruit. It had a grandbaby piano in there. It had a stairwell that went up to the second floor in his room. I was just like, man, this thing is amazing. So he took me to a bathroom, and it was a toilet. And in Banff, Canada, when you look out of the Fairmont, it's like a castle. When you look out of the window, every view is like picturestic. But don't take a picture of it because the picture ain't doing it no justice. But anyway, it was just me and Andy. He was like, look at here, Bo. I'm walking around in that bathroom and everything, looking around, checking stuff out, just in case anything pop off. I'm ready to run. But I said, Andy, how did you know? Like, you're from Burlington, Union Ridge. How did you know that this was available? Like, this lifestyle was available. He said, Bo, I was inquisitive. I just used to get around rich people and look around, just ask questions. How you do this? How you do that? And then duplication. Once you're duplicating, it's going to open up doors to association. Where you can get association is getting around. When you get around the right people, they will give you access to a lifestyle that you don't qualify for. I still can't afford, I don't even know how much a gallon of gas is on a private jet. I ain't got that type of money. But Andy so freely opens up his world to us to say, this is what was possible if you could duplicate. If you can do what I did, if you can go when you don't feel like going, if you can love again when that agent done crushed you, when they openly disrespect you, call you out your name, can you still love again? Like asking Andy, how did you do it? And you was talking about credit. Yeah, a lot of times, he said this one time, hey, Terry, you want credit or do you want the cash? I'm like, I prefer the cash, sir. Because so many times we get so caught up in who's going to get the credit. We don't care nothing about credit. What's going to make the premium grow? Yeah, you're tracking? What's going to make the premium grow? So,
yeah, do you want to be rich or you want to be right?
Right, right.
And understand, there's a plan. And whoever's coaching you, now, your job is to be a fruit inspector. Make sure they have the fruit on the tree, okay? Because everybody's got an opinion. But if they don't have the fruit on the tree, you need to keep looking for somebody who has the fruit on the tree that you're getting your business advice from. Okay? But here's the thing. What I learned to do was this. Stop questioning what Andy was doing and start asking, what's your thought process? Andy, I don't understand. Explain to me why you're doing it that way. I understand it's the best way to do it because you have the most fruit on the tree of anybody that I know. So I've inspected. Your tree is good. Why are you doing it that way so that I can better understand it, so I can better duplicate it? It's not you're doing it wrong, you need to change this. So go to the person you're getting coaching from with the right heart and the right mindset of what's the thought process so I can duplicate the thought process so that we could duplicate the activity so that we could duplicate the results.
And the timing in asking the question is everything. So like if you're in a house and the person you call tell you the right force is playing right, by God, right force is playing right. Do not come back and be like, I was thinking Trans-America, I don't know. Now, that ain't the time to question. Question when you get back in the car after you done picked up the check. Y'all tracking? So it's like you can't, when you're asking questions, you can't ask them in the wrong environment because you might not be ready for the answer.
So let's talk a little bit about association. Here's something that I've learned, and I want Beth and Tia especially to talk about this. How many of you care about who your kids hang around?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, everybody in here cares about who your kids hang around. Why? Because you believe and you know if they get in with the wrong crowd, they're going to go down the wrong direction. And so you want to make sure that their peer group, their association is in a positive, upward moving place. Okay? How arrogant are we as adults to think we're not just as susceptible to the power of association? And if we get in with the wrong peer group, that we're not going to end up with the same stinking thinking as the people that we're associating with. What I've learned is this. Your income is going to be the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So when Beth and I were school teachers, guess who we were hanging around? School teachers. And I could see very clearly where our life was going to be 5 years from now, 10 years from now. I could see what kind of house we were going to live in, what kind of cars we were going to drive, what kind of vacations we were going to take, what kind of clothes we were going to wear. Why? Because I could just see somebody who was teaching 10 years longer, and odds were very good that I was just going to have what they had. And so at least with our kids, at least our kids have us trying to steer them in the right direction. Without your team, without the association of the alliance, you got nobody trying to steer you in the right direction. Right. And so Tia, if you would talk a little bit about, and you can talk about it from the perspective of your 4 beautiful children, the power of association. And how important it's been for you and Terry to get around Andy and Jane and to get around the leadership team.
Yeah.
And then Beth, you kind of follow up on that as well.
So we have 4 kids, those that don't know. We have a 16-year-old Elijah, 15-year-old Naya, 13-year-old Isaiah, and 6-year-old Taylor. And we're actually going through that right now. It's like we're always it seems like it's a every night conversation at dinner table especially with our middle school and our high school kids, just talking about who are we hanging around. And as Terry and I, we're always trying to set the example on, our kids are always watching us, seeing who we're talking to on the phone, what type of conversations we're having. So even at the dinner table, it's like, okay, who are y'all talking to at school? Seeing if we see people that we feel like they should not be hanging around, we're talking about, okay, what is it that you like about this person? And sometimes Anaya be like, I don't know. Or she'll give a quick answer, but one thing I've learned from being here at the Alliance, the association, is that sometimes we have to go deeper into asking deeper questions to really find out what is it that's drawing you to these group of people. And so it's like every night conversation, just being like here even how Andy is always creating events for us to come to. It's allowing us to get to know one another. The crazy trips is just allowing us to get to know one another. How he has like little small groups. He may invite you to do the shooting, or him and Jane may invite us over to their house. And how I will never remember the first time I met Jane and Andy. They had invited us over to their house, gave us, and Jane was like, "Tia, come on, girl." She knew I was all uncomfortable and stuff. She was like, look, I went to the store trying to buy the cutest outfits and everything. You know, you go around multimillionaire, you know, you got to be right. So you thought, you know. But Andy and Jane, they're just down-to-earth people. And Jane was like, "Come on, girl, let me show you around my house real quick." And just, she's asking questions about the kids, you know, where Terry and I was from. And just seeing that, it also allowed me to know how to communicate with our new agents and how to get to know their family. Me and Terry will always have a servant heart. So it wasn't that hard, but just wanted to know more about the people.
It's funny, several years ago, our daughter Sarah, who's our oldest, she's 23, she came up and she had read, what's the book? The Last Lecture, Randy Pausch. And he talked in there about writing stuff on the wall. Well, we had been over to Andy and Jane's house, and Jane had let Haley take on a couple of panels in her bedroom and had friends come in and write encouraging notes to her. And so Sarah came to me and she goes, "I was thinking maybe I could put some stuff on my wall, you know, like one wall." And I said, "Sure, that works." Well, one wall turned into 2 walls, turned into 3 walls, turned into 4 walls. But what she wrote on her walls was all of her notes from coming to NatCons and family reunions and events at G5 Ranch and her church camps. That's what she wrote. And I'm like, "Girl, have at it. Go for all, you know, go for every space." She even moved the furniture so that if she ever rearranged her room, she wasn't going to have a blank space on her wall. I have heard that you never get Sharpies out of drywall, so I think it's staying there permanently. But that's the power of this team in influencing our kids. Like, you will parent differently because of the environment. And your kids are raised differently because of this environment. And that, to me, that is just such a powerful example that we get to, our kids have benefited from. So our son Andrew is starting his first year at Carolina, UNC, just down the road, Chapel Hill.
Sorry about that, Andy.
Sorry about that, Andy. But anyway, one of the things that he copied was that when his sisters left for college, they had written notes to the siblings. And Andrew, in turn, wrote notes to all of us when he left. And it was an incredible reflection of his growing up years. First of all, thankfully, he admitted that could be difficult at times. So, yes. Honesty. But the other thing was, in his letter to Adam, was how much an example Adam had set for him. And he even said, "There were times I didn't understand why I didn't want you to leave, but then I kind of figured out why you were leaving. And everything you've ever done has been for us." And the fact that he could understand that example, and he admits the business has not attracted him the way it has attracted our girls, but he has learned from it. And he was thanking Adam, "Thank you for all the times that you got me to go to the meetings, that you had me sitting in there and developing leadership skills." And then to turn around and watch him already now applying it in college. 2 roommates had a situation come up, you know, as roommates do, trying to learn how to live together in a itty-bitty space.
Yeah.
And it was just awesome to hear him repeat the conversations he'd had with 2 totally different viewpoints, and how he could meet each person where they were in that struggle and say, "Hey, we can do better. We can be better." And that, I think he got that from Adam.
Yeah, and I got it from Andy. And, you know, just the association of Andy and Jane changed the vision of how we saw our life. It changed our marriage. Because, growing, as when we got married, we had two opposite views of what marriage was. My parents do a lot of things separate from each other. My mom's in one room listening to her music. My dad's back in his room watching TV. My dad plays poker with the guys. My mom, does yoga. And they don't do a ton of stuff together, and it works well for their marriage.
My parents don't do anything apart.
There is no separation.
They can't even order this different meals at a restaurant. So.
We didn't have to go through that where she was smothering me. I'm thinking we should do some stuff alone, and she's thinking we need to do everything. We didn't have to do that because we got attached to Andy and Jane so early in our marriage, and we saw what they were doing, and that association of hanging around them just really changed everything about where our life is today. And if you don't think that you're here by the hand of God, go back and trace the thin thread that got you in this room. Right. Because it is a thin thread in most cases. So Terry, we talk about association, and there's lots of things that we can associate with. Obviously, books, audio, and meetings are the big things that we associate. Talk to them a little bit about the power of why they need to, what they need to, and why it's so important.
Yeah. Association, again, if what got us where we are right now will not get us where we're trying to go. Because if it could, we would be there. So association, it broadens your thought process. When you can get around people that think different than you, that talk different than you, that look different than you, that vote a different way than you do, that believe a different religion than you. It's not like everybody is not bad just because they're not like you. I think the world outside of these doors want everybody to be against each other. But can't we all get along? I think we're more alike than we are separate, but some people may just have gotten it right a couple of more times. What can I learn from them? So the association, learning how to work. My dad was a farmer. We didn't live together, but that was his work, My mom worked in a chicken plant, come from very humble beginnings, Then don't know nothing about no money. I remember the first time I made it was December 2015. I made $18,000. It was 6 months in, I made $18,000 that month. It was New Year's Eve. And Andy was doing the activity call in his pool house, and he invited me over there. I was feeling myself. I said, man, I made $18,000 this month. He said, that's cute. In my other circle, they'll be telling me how great I am. Where the right association will speak life into you to push you to where you can be. And a lot of times we like the comfortable association of everybody telling us how great we are, or they're commenting on our social media. They don't know, they just know what we show them, but they think that's 24/7. You know what I'm saying? But the right association will push you into your destiny. They won't let you settle for good. And that's the thing I like about Andy, the thing I hate about Andy. He won't let you settle for good. Sometimes I'll be like, dang, he ain't not gonna be good enough here. But he's saying it's more in you. It's more in you. It's more in you. So good association is also expensive. It's expensive to get around good people. It ain't hard to find somebody to go drink beer with. I called somebody, asked, Andy had invited me on the jet, so I wanted to do something nice for him. And I was like, what kind of wine he like? So somebody said, Camus or something like that. I ain't never bought no wine like that. I buy that Sutter Home stuff. I ain't know nothing about that stuff at the grocery. Harris Teeter, that $4.99 Vic special. Y'all tracking what I'm putting down? So anyway, I went to Total Wine. I was like, where can I find, I'm looking for Camus or whatever. And he was like, wait a minute, I got to call a manager. So they called the manager and they take me back there. They got it locked up. So I was like, oh, Lord. But it's like, just, I didn't even know what Camus was. But evidently it's a lot wine that people think mighty highly of. The grapes must have been just right. But what it does is it elevates your self-esteem. So now, like Andy Riddle told me, Terry, you need to stop buying Tia them cheap flowers. You need to buy her some 3-foot roses, minimum 3-foot roses. I was like, 3-foot rose? What? Stretching you. The thing I love about this whole company is the level of the character of the men here. I did a talk one time at a men's seminar that within every man is a little boy. We're living in a world right now where people are looking for authentic leadership, especially men. We've been beat up. People think that we're strong, but deep down inside, there are a lot of insecurities in a lot of us. I know us men. I know from me. I don't know about y'all. But the caliber of men that Andy has assembled here is crazy, because it just makes you want to be a better leader, a better husband, a better father. And that first meeting, I'll never forget this stuff, man. That first meeting, he said, Terry, beware of the barrenness of an unexamined life. He was like, I got more money than I know what to do with, but I still got people that can check me. Tim Gold, he started listing John Maxwell, Nito Cobain. It's just like, okay, so I need to put those types of guardrails in my life. So that's when I started hanging out and wanting to be around you and Stephen Davies and stuff like that. But I can't just hang around. I got to put points on the board to be invited, like earning that respect. To me, respect is one of my core values. I want to be respected by those I respect. So many people live a life like, I don't give a darn what nobody think about me. I don't care. Whatever. If you live your life like that, you are going nowhere fast. And I was talking to my kids about that just the other night. Like, what are your expectations of the people that you're associating with? What type of people? What are they talking about? Is that what you want to do? Because failure don't happen all of a sudden. It just creeps up on you over time. Like, I didn't get this fat overnight. I didn't come out my mama like this. I didn't. I promise you, I was 7 pounds, 12 ounces. There's a lot of 7 pounds unaccumulated over the years, right? The same thing happens in life. We don't get in a mess overnight, and we ain't going to get out of it overnight. But what we got to do is have good counsel and good association, because the Bible says he who walks with the wise will become wise. But he that's in the companion of fools going to be destroyed. I don't want to be destroyed. I don't want my children to see me destroyed. That was one of the things, like my daddy, that joker was a trip. That joker is a trip. You know what I'm saying? He's one of those guys. He's had some very public failures, but he get back up and fight. But I didn't want to show that. So the association, who are you hanging with? What are you listening to? Audios. You ain't got to listen to it all the time, but you need to listen to about 15 to 20 minutes of audio every day to help get some of that junk out of our life. You know how many images are placed before us every day? And 90% of those images are negative. So we're constantly surrounded by the negative. So the audios is a way out, the books. Like, if you can't have a conversation with Andy one-on-one, read the 8 Steps to Success. You're going to learn about his life. Read Inside the Circle of You. You will find out what makes his wheels turn. And then you could just start duplicating that. And again, it's all about being humble enough to know that I don't know it all. Like, that's a lot of pressure to have to know it all. And I don't like that type of pressure bust pipes.
Yeah, and it's the concept. So I loved what you said. One of the things we say all the time, I've heard Andy say all the time, is this: love is given, respect is earned. Love is given. Respect is earned. You don't have to behave to belong. Now, that doesn't mean you can be out there doing unethical things or anything. Behave means you don't have to be doing 40-40. You don't have to belong to the team. But if you want to get to that inner circle, if you want to reach those levels, it's like everybody's invited to NatCon, but only the agency managers are invited to the AM meeting. Okay? So you can earn the right to get to that meeting on Thursday night with Andy. And, same thing on the trips and same thing. And it's putting yourself in a position to earn that respect. John Maxwell said this: the shortest distance between 2 points is a shortcut. Quit trying to shortcut the system and just follow the system. The system is the shortcut. The alliance is the shortcut. This isn't the 40-year plan like you get a job when you're 20 years old, you work 40, 45 years till you're 65, where you retire on half what you couldn't live with to start with. This is the shortcut, but now you got to do everything in the shortcut. And one of the 8 steps to success is attend all meetings. And it humors me that people are like, all is not a complicated word. There's only 3 letters, 2 of them the same. All. If there's a meeting going on and you're invited to it, then you should do everything in your power to be there. That's how Beth and I have lived our lives from the time we met Andy and Jane. Now there were meetings we weren't invited to. We didn't have to go to those. But the ones we were invited to, we wanted to do everything in our power to make sure we were there. Because there were so many things out of my control, I wanted to at least control the things in my control. And showing up prepared, ready to learn, was something I could control.
And this meeting, you got paid to show up. Look,
and fed. Paid and fed.
$300 to $500, and people don't show up. That's a difference if you got a job and you can't get on. Mm-hmm. That's one thing. But just to association also is about being submissive. Sometimes we just got to submit to a higher authority. Period. I know people don't like that word. When Tia said it in our vows, she rolled her eyes. I watched it. I got the VCR tape to prove it. She thought about it, rolled her eyes, and then said it.
That was a young Tia.
So never mind. But sometimes we have to submit, because this is the thing. Most of the time we want to be submitted to, but don't want to submit. Mm. A lot of people want to be served, but don't want to serve. And that's so unattractive. It's so we was talking to kids the other day about being selfless, and now it's like now it's our job to take what Andy has taught us and to duplicate it and create those events, association opportunities within our teams. It's about we have to pull our fair share. To whom much is given, much is required. So if you've been given a lot is required. But if you ain't been given nothing, we don't expect nothing from you. But I know that we've been given a lot. We've been given an opportunity of a lifetime. We only get 2 or 3 opportunities of a lifetime to really set our families up for success. And I believe this is one of them. That's what I got to say about that.
Guess we got to move on.
So the next opportunities in terms of the association, we have Fall Summit coming up, September 30th, October 1st. It's a Thursday, Friday. And so you want to get here Thursday morning. If you live out of town, you might need to come in Wednesday night. And all day Thursday is going to be an open house where you can talk to President's Club and LPT and ABTF, and the Carriers will be here, and Gina Hawks will be here, Chris Norris and Amber will be here, and you can ask a lot of questions. Make a friend before you need a friend, and so that's going to be kind of a very flowing day. And then Friday the 1st is going to be training 9 to 5. And you're going to hear from the best of the best in the alliance that Andy can put on the agenda. And it's going to be a powerful day. And I love the people that come to me and say, I have a job, I can't be at both days. Which day do I need to get to? Just the fact that you're humble enough that you're willing to work around it and get to as much as you can. See, that's a winner mentality. And you're humble enough to be like, tell me which is going to maximize my time at the days, at the Fall Summit. So we have Fall Summit coming up, and then, National Convention. January 20th through the 23rd. It's going to be right here in Burlington, North Carolina. It is going to be off the charts. It's going to be unbelievable excitement. We call it edutainment. You will be educated. You will be entertained. You will cry. You will laugh. A good time will be had by all, and it will change your life if you come here looking for your life to be changed. It'll get deep. When this business goes from your head to your heart, and that's what association does, is it moves the business from a logical business plan into a passion that you can't not do. And that's what you're going to get at National Convention. And you can log on to ARC. There's a link to NatCon, and you could register for $50 or lock in your $305 price. $305 covers all the meals, all the training, everything those 2.5 days. And the people who go grow, and that's the power of association. That's your choice. That is your chance and your choice to show how much you value the association. So the third piece of the light of day is edification. So Beth, what is it? You did such a phenomenal job of this with our kids, as they grew up, because I was on the road a lot. I was doing my best to duplicate Andy. I didn't duplicate his skill set, but I did duplicate a lot of his activities. And so I was gone. I was on the road, and I was missing events with the kids. The kids were missing me not being there. And Beth could have very easily turned it against me. And there are a lot of moms who do. She could have been like, can you believe your father's gone again? But what she always did was this. Can you believe your father's gone again? Slaying dragons for our family. I remember I came home from a long trip one time, and I got there, and the kids had taken construction paper, and they had written all these positive messages and adjectives about me, and it was up the steps and into, all the way, led all the way to the couch where they already had my pillow and my blanket. Talk about edification.
Okay, so I'll stop crying. I'm gonna pull my Latin here. So edification comes from the Latin word edifico, and it means to build, erect, construct, make, create, establish, improve. And I think that's what we're trying to do. We are trying to build our lives. And we've got a model of what works. We've got people showing us and inviting us to come into their world. And so then it's our job to go create it. It's our job to do that. And a lot of times it's going to start with the words you're saying, the thoughts you're thinking between these 6 inches. Because we battle so much negative out there. The world needs a safe place that people can come and they can be built up. Adam and I have said this all the time. Andy looked at us and saw something in us that we had to figure out what in the world he was seeing. And we can't put in you what God left out of you, but it's our job as leaders. It's your job as a leader of your business to pull out the greatness that is inside you. And so, Adam talked about what I did with the kids because I needed them to see their daddy as the hero. First of all, it was going to determine the man that Andrew was going to be, and it was going to determine the kind of man that our girls would end up marrying. And that matters. That matters. And so our job is to go, how awesome is it to walk through these doors and there's a lightness here. You can be scrolling your Facebook page and see all the negative, all the trash, and just think the world is completely screwed up. And you come here and people are like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. You look great. Man, I all of a sudden seen your name on the leaderboard, or thank you for the call you did, or gosh, that's a beautiful smile. Thanks for brightening my day. Like, we walk in here and we are building people up.
Right.
And that matters.
Yeah, and when I think of edification, me and Terry, we're from the country. And I grew up in church. I watched my grandparents, my mom and dad, aunts, everybody just like always serving. And so when we came here, it was like, how is it so easy for y'all to edify? How do y'all always, how is that so easy for y'all to serve? And it's just because we've seen it growing up. And like this week, we did have the conversation with our kids about the difference from being selfish versus being selfless. When I look at edification, edifying somebody, it's like we are all being selfless, thinking less about not thinking less about ourselves, but not thinking of ourselves. But we want to uplift that person. Like when we have opportunity meetings and we have like Gina Hawks come and do an opportunity meeting, edifying her is so easy, It's not just about, the college degrees, what school she went to. It's not just about, her marriage, but it's also about what is that relationship that we actually have with Gina. Going on these trips, what are those memories that we have been able to create with Gina? And so that when we're able to edify her, it's drawing everybody in the audience closer to her, wanting to get to know her. So that's what I look at when I think of edifying, just uplifting one another and just sharing our personal experience with them and thinking less of ourselves.
Edification is more than words. A lot of people think it's just, I'm going to say the right things. But there was a guy that used to go to our church who used to say, your actions speak so loud, I can't hear what you're saying. Right. Because if you say it and there's no true authenticity behind it, you might as well shut up. It don't mean anything. Edification is more about what you do. I can't edify Tia and not back it up. I can't say she's the love of my life and then have her looking like Raggedy Ann. That ain't right. That's not edifying. It's not edifying to say I love Andy Albright, but my business is not growing. It's words. It's actions. Because this is the other thing. People are used to being good with words. We done got good with words. But somebody can tell if you authentically love them. Somebody can tell if you genuinely, are you trying to make money with them or off them? That's, nobody wants to be under somebody. No, we're gonna do this thing together, right? The act of inconveniencing yourself. Edification is you're inconveniencing yourself to help somebody, to lift somebody else up. I like to say we lifting as we climb, right? So that's the only thing I'm gonna say about edification is life and death is in the power of our tongue. Either we're killing somebody or we're speaking life into somebody. And words cause wars, words stop wars. So we need to have the words of, yes, speaking life into people, but when the cameras are off and the lights are dim, what are you doing 7 days a week? Are you available? Are you teachable? Are you coachable?
The other thing, we call this the magic dust. Edification is the magic dust. It's where you can, it's where you leverage your mentor. It's where you leverage your coach. Where when they call into somebody, hey, I got this new guy I'm excited about. Can you give him a call? And I've had times where it's like, absolutely, I'll give him a call. I dial him up. Hey, this is Adam Katz, and they're like, who? Who are you with? What do you do? And it's just like, obviously there's, so the impact I could have made on that person's business has been dulled because I wasn't set up for success. Part of your job is to edify the people helping you so that they can make an impact on your business. I asked Andy before he took off to the football game on Saturday. I asked him, hey, could you call this guy? But I set Andy up. And obviously Andy's easy to edify. He's got 2 jets. He's got a Lambo. He's got a Ferrari. He's easy to edify. I understand that. Some of us aren't quite as easy to edify. But what I can tell you is between me and Andy, we have 2 jets. We have a Ferrari. We have a Lamborghini. We got all that stuff together, too.
That's my boy.
But when Andy called the guy, I said, hey, look out for a 336 number so that he'd answer the call. And I said, let me tell you who's going to be calling you. This guy can make a major impact on your future. This is who you want getting coaching from. And so when Andy called him, the person was looking forward to receiving that phone call. It wasn't a, Andy who? And so understand, when you give me credibility, if I'm working in your business, Glenn, if I'm working in your business, you give me credibility, then when I'm talking to your brand new person, I'm going to tell them how good you are because you are, and they're going to believe me because you gave me the authority and the credibility to actually speak. So you give away the credibility so that the person you give it to can then turn around and give it back to you. That's the power of edification. That's the magic dust that we can sprinkle into our business. But it only works, like Terry said, if it's sincere and specific. But I mean, it is such a powerful tool to grow yourself and your team and your business.
And also, it's not just about edifying your upline. You also have to edify your teammates. When you get a good one, parade them around. Like make them feel like a celebrity. Appreciate them, affirm them. Say, hey, look, this girl just got started right here, man. She kicking butt, taking names. Went out her first week, wrote her $5,000 in premium, created $2,500 just like that. Because guess what? As you edify new people, other new people are hearing it and like, oh, if she can do it, I can do it too. It's not just for the people that's been here forever, right? These new people are the new blood that's coming in here now. Oh my gosh! But that's what we have to do. Andy does a great job giving us platforms. Yeah. The Alliance is a platform. Now we have to pay it forward and edify the ones coming behind us, but so that it's not about us. It's about how can we get more people, the collective we, to $1 billion company.
So guys, that's what we got. Thank you, Andy and Jane Albright, for allowing us to talk to your team. Guys, it's a choice whether you walk into the light of day or you don't walk in the light of day. I hope you choose to walk in the light of day with us. On behalf of Terry and Tia Edwards, we're Adam and Beth Katz, and that wraps it up for the TWC.
Adios.
Love you guys. Take care, Alliance Nation.